L.U. Dickens, a funeral director, preparing the body for a funeral. He gently talks to the body before taking a photo with a Stone Age camera. Meanwhile, Anna from the Donkey, a middle school teacher, and her boyfriend, a lawyer named Paul, are building bricks in their apartment. Anna didn't feel happy and looked sad. She lit a cigarette and jumped into the bathroom. While taking a shower, Val and Anna began to discuss their relationship. He wondered if she was happy, even though she said she was. Anna was clearly feeling depressed and anxious after the morning argument with Val. Anna went to school for work. When she arrived, she saw a boy named Giac being bullied by older students. She saves the boy and asks her about a chick they keep in the classroom. He wonders if the chick is dead, but he comforted him and explained that he was just scared. Then, we see Anna working passively behind her desk. She seemed unhappy and lost in thought. She took her medication and continued to work. Then, when leaving school, Anna noticed that the lights in the hallway were going off one by one. She panicked and started running towards the door as the entire corridor quickly sank into darkness. Anna became extremely scared, almost wanted to scream, when the gauge appears and turn on the light. She was happy to see the boy and the eggs at school. At the same time, when Anna tells him that she's going to the funeral of her former piano teacher, the price is resolutely asked to come along, but she politely declined and said that such things are not for children. After parting with the price, Anna tried to take more medicine, but the medicine box was gone. She went out to buy more in front of the pharmacy and stumbled upon a barber shop. She decided to dye her hair red. When she went to the funeral, Elliot was standing near the body and talking to his wife. Anna approached the body and began to converse with a woman. It turns out, the deceased was her former piano teacher. Elliot observed Anna and began to pay attention to her. At the same time, Anna's eyes made her feel a little strange when she looked at the corpse. She was surprised to see her teacher exhale. Anna left the funeral and went to her car, while Elliot continued to stalk her through the window that night. Anna is dating Paul, the person who planned to suddenly propose to her before dinner. Both agreed, not arguing, but just wanting to enjoy their evening. Anna noticed that Paul had bought an expensive bottle of wine. So, the question is there a special occasion being celebrated? Bao began to explain that his bosses had offered him a new position at the company. Makes Anna think that he wants to break up with her. They quarreled, and Paul didn't have time to propose. Angry for what happened, he told Anna that she was exactly like her mother. People were mentally unstable. He chased after her, but she turned on the music in the car and started driving away in the dark night in the rain because she was feeling stressed. She didn't care about a big truck passing by. Instead of trying to drive safely, she started dialing on her phone. We don't see anything happening, but Anna suddenly screamed and turned the steering wheel for the next thing. We know she was in the basement of Elliot's funeral home, on an autopsy table with a bruise on his head, wearing a short red dress. Elio approached her and began to cut her clothes. Suddenly, she woke up. The mysterious funeral director later told her that she had been in a car accident and was officially dead. She didn't believe him, so he showed her the death certificate. Anna didn't believe in wanting to move, but she couldn't. Eliud laughed and said that everyone denied it when they first woke up on the autopsy table. He left her to rest and turn off the lights, while Anna convinces herself that she is having a nightmare. While she was screaming, telling herself to wake up, quickly woke up in bed and discovered that Anna was missing. He wondered if she had left him and regretted last night's quarrel. I tried to call her, but he didn't know that Elliot was holding her phone. The answering system automatically pops up and Paul explains that he wants her to accompany him to Chicago. Not a breakup. Elliot ignored the call and instead, he put his phone in a paper bag and opened an old cabinet in a creepy way. Filled the paper bags. Then, Elliot took the photo he had taken from Anna's dead piano teacher and hurried to school to find his girlfriend. But she wasn't there, so he went to her mother's house. Anna's mother told Paul that her daughter had died and blamed him for letting her drive in the rain. Val couldn't believe it and burst into tears, while Anna's cold mother said that she never liked him. Meanwhile, Anna still believes that she is not dead and begs Elliot to let her go. While he was stitching the bloody wound on her forehead, Elliot insisted that she was dead and went on to inject a yellow liquid into her neck. The doorbell rang at Elliot's funeral home as Anna returned to her coma. Elliot left the basement and went out to greet Anna's mother. When he sat in front of his daughter, he was presumed dead. Anna's mother did not shed a single tear. Instead, she blamed her daughter for dying and left her behind. The mother is poor, lonely, but before leaving, she said her last words. She wanted Elliot to return her natural hair color to black. Follow. We see Yakutsk article about Anna's recent car accident. Giac's mother sat staring at the TV screen. Looks like a dead person. The boy told his mother that she needed to pick him up from school, but she didn't have any reaction. Meanwhile, at the funeral home, Eliud was cleaning up the mummification tools upstairs. It's still in the basement. Anna wakes up and realizes she can move her body. She quickly checked the pulse and tapped her hand on the table. Try to feel the pain and look for evidence that you are alive. She got up from the desk and tried to make a phone call in the basement. But the phone was busy because Elliot was using it upstairs to confirm the details of her funeral. He started screaming, asking someone to let her go. but the door was closed and there was no one there. At the same time, hurry up to the funeral home and ask to see Anna's body. Elliot did not allow it because Paul was not legally a relative. As the two argued, Anna heard Paul's voice and started screaming, but to no avail because he couldn't hear her. When Elliot returns to the basement, he found Anna sitting on the floor. She asked about Paul, but he answered vaguely and instead passed the question back to her. He asked, would she ever fall in love? And Elliot began to convince her that she had to let go of her life. He insisted that he was alive, but Elliot didn't give up and began to convince her that she was denying reality. After an argument at the funeral home, hurry up and go to the police because he is a lawyer. Many police officers already knew him. They allowed him to grab a can of water from the vending machine, but he took advantage of this opportunity to sneak into the room where they kept the cars in the accident. He walked around the cars and tried to find Anna's car. When he found it, he sat in the driver's seat and began to cry when he noticed a doll with a bloody swaying head near the window. He had hallucinations of Anna standing next to the car. He was scared, but fortunately, a policeman, his friend, come and comfort him. Hurry up and take the doll with her swaying head and go home. While Paul is in crisis, Anna holds a knife to try to open the locked basement door. But when she approached the door, she saw another body in the basement. The old lady who kissed Anna became worried and began to rethink the situation and saw that the woman was dead. She felt deep in her bones that she didn't want to die. Meanwhile, Elliot enters the room, but he first adjusts the thermometer and lowers the temperature of the room. Anna tries to kill him with a knife she stole, and as a ruthless psychological manipulator, Elliot challenged her to stab him with a knife. She didn't. Then, Elliot begins to explain that he can talk to her because he talks to the deceased. He told her that his job was to help them transition. Then, he began to shout at her, wondering why she insisted that she was alive when she didn't have a special life in the first place. Anna became depressed and lay down on the table. After a while, she woke up and saw the queen standing in front of her. The old lady was dressed in black and was combing her hair. Tell Anna that she's not ready. Suddenly, a dark metal door opened in the corner of the room. As Anna approached that door, she slowly put her hand into the darkness, and suddenly another pale hand grabbed her and pulled her inside. The door closed and Anna found herself in a mysterious world, dark with blue light. There, a slightly injured little girl emerges from the darkness and tells Anna that she is disappointed in her. She also said that she was actually Anna and that she might be better off if she died. This vision is just a dream, because Anna went back to the mummification table and woke up. She was angry, got up and pushed everything off the shelf, screaming in pain in the basement. Elliot preparing flowers for the funeral of the majestic grandmother. When he was laying the final decorations, Trash approached and asked him, when will it be Anna's funeral? Elliot was curious about the boy, but when he left, he went down to the basement and saw that everything was broken. He started yelling and scolding. Ask her, why are you pushing everything off the shelf? But instead of getting an answer, he only saw that she was in a digital state, wondering if I'm alive or dead. Meanwhile, hurry up to her apartment, wash her face, and suddenly Anna appeared naked. She turned towards him and began to tear her heart from her body's chest. She opened and bled. Well, he screamed. He woke up and noticed the doll he had taken from the car, turning his head to look at him. In the basement of the funeral home, Elliot brought Anna's funeral dress that her mother had prepared. He said that she wasn't ready to die and tried to start a conversation with Elliot. In the meantime, Anna was actually stealing his keys. When he left, she tried to open the door from the basement, but as soon as he drove out, Elliot realized that his key was lost. He quickly returned to the house, and just in time, Anna opened the front door. She ran towards the kitchen and was lucky. He didn't recognize her. Sadly, she left the key in the door. There was nowhere else to go, as all the other doors were locked. Elliot didn't suspect she had fled until he began to hear noises, so he decided to search the rooms. Meanwhile, Anna grabs a knife from the kitchen and runs around the house, hope to find a way out. When Anna finds a phone and tries to call Paul, the youngest Glass was quietly passing through the house, deliberately. When Paul picked up the phone, Anna began to talk to her for help, but he thought it was a joke and hung up. While she was still holding the phone, Elliot finds Anna and proceeds to convince her that she is dead. He said, "You always need proof." Then he showed her the mirror. Deck was outside and saw Anna from the window. Elliot noticed this, but he smiled. When he saw an opportunity to manipulate the boy, Anna seems to have been convinced, and they soon went down to the basement, where Leos washed her hair, delete the hair color at her mother's request. While taking care of Anna, Elliot receives a call asking to pick up the body and prepare for a funeral. Paul is still grieving and goes to Anna's school to get her things. In her drawer, he found postcards and pictures of himself that Anna had taken during a picnic. He began to cry as memories rushed back to his head, anger and sadness. He smashed all the furniture on the table while this happened. Elliot and Anna were in the basement, where Elliot was preparing another body. He was sewing up the dead man's mouth to keep it closed, and put plastic in the eyes of the corpse. Anna asked, would Paul cry when he saw her? And Elliot lied that he didn't want to. Actual, Bao didn't even see her. Elliot questioned, "Why do people have to die?" And he replied that it was because of death, making life important. Then, he injected the yellow liquid into her neck again. It made her faint. At school, the storm was windy, and the boy said he saw Anna at the funeral home wearing a red dress. Bao said that Anna did not have any red dresses, but he was very adamant that he had seen her. He lost his patience, and when he realized that maybe Paul didn't love her anymore, he slapped the boy in the funeral home. In the meantime, Elliot was looking at the photos he had taken from the corpses and began to talk to them. Suddenly, he saw a police car standing in front of his house and panicked. When the policeman arrived at the door, he asked to see the body. Elliot stepped back as if he was thinking of an escape plan, but it turned out the policeman is the brother of the new body. Elliot breathed a sigh of relief and led the police down to the basement. When looking at his brother's body, the officer found Anna's body. She was unconscious, but her head moved slightly. The officer asked Elliot to let him spend a few minutes alone with his brother. And when Elliot left, he approached Anna's body. It seemed that he suspected she was alive, like the only thing he wanted was to touch her. When the policeman touched Anna, Elliot returned to the basement, confused by what he had just witnessed. The officer leaves, and Elliot becomes angry. He began to take care of himself, make up for his brother's body, makes him look like a clown. He talks to the body, but since the body was indeed dead, no one answered. Meanwhile, will not give up his doubts and visit the funeral home again. He walked towards the new body when Elliot arrived, frightening him. Elliot tells the boy that the dead are attracted to garbage because he has a gift. He told Jack that the first person to talk to him was his mother, then offered to teach the boy how to use his gift. When driving, Bao saw a red dress like the one she had described. He recalled that Anna had a red dress and quickly drove to the funeral home. There, he found Elliot pruning the shrubs and insisted that he had seen Anna. He told Elliot that he had seen her in the window, but Paul explained that the boy was a regular visitor to the funeral home and had a rich imagination. Quickly became angry and walked into the house, shouting Anna's name while running towards the basement. Anna woke up just at that moment, but she didn't react because she now believed she was really dead. Bull left and went directly to the police, asked them to conduct a search at the funeral home. The police didn't take him seriously because they thought he was just grieving. At the funeral home, Anna was lying on the table, and Elliot was preparing her for the funeral. She began to open her heart, tell Elliot about the regrets in his life, and wants to have a different life. Anand said that she lived in a routine and never really allowed herself to love, because she learned from a young age that love can only hurt you. When Elliot asked her what would make her life better, she replied that she just wanted to be happy. Elliot gets angry and begins to question her about her life and relationship with Paul. Then, he opened the door and told her to leave, saying that she has one more chance. Nevertheless, Anna had a terrifying hallucination and stood still at the door. "Do not move." Elliot then sneered, as if to prove something, to say that people are not afraid of death. It's life. Then they went back to the table, where Elliot is finishing preparations for the funeral. Then, Elliot went to the cemetery to dig a grave for Anna, when a measurement suddenly appeared. The boy wanted to learn from Elliot, so he asked for advice. Elliot then explained his philosophy of life, say that he has the ability to see the dead. There are people who are not necessarily dead, but wander aimlessly, making life more miserable. He tells Jack that this is his duty and that he has no choice. The next morning, Anna sat in the coffin, wait for the final funeral preparations before receiving the injection. She asked Elliot to let her look in the mirror one last time. He handed her the mirror, and as she exhaled, she felt her breath condense on the glass. Anna realizes that he manipulated and lied to her from the beginning. She is actually alive. When she objected, Elliot injected her with drugs, and she fell asleep. The funeral director then took a photo of her. At the funeral, it's hard for everyone, including Anna's mother, incense her and leave the engagement ring on her finger. He noticed that her body was cold and began to cry, slowly accept that she's indeed dead. Elliot didn't want to risk letting someone find out the truth. Therefore, he quickly closed the coffin. When everyone leaves, Elliot hung a picture of Anna on the wall, where there's a collection of hundreds of photos. Those are all the people he has deceived and killed. Meanwhile, Anna regained consciousness when she was buried alive. She screamed and punched the lid of the coffin, but no one could hear her. At the funeral party, so drunk and angry, he still can't believe that Anna is dead and confronts Elliot about it. But instead of comforting him, Elliot challenges you to check to see if Anna is still alive. Say you don't have much time left. Bao quickly left the party and drove to the cemetery. At the same time, sprinkle the chick in a box and bury it alive. Tell the chick that it will be better like that. When Paul drove adventurously and drunk to Anna's grave, she was screaming in the coffin and gradually losing strength. Quickly noticed an ambulance was walking behind him, but continued to drive on the same road. The funeral director sat in the car for a price. Turn on classical music. The boy asked if it was over, and Elliot confirmed. Bao rushed to the grave and began to dig the grave. He took Anna out of the coffin and kissed her. She woke up, but Paul quickly realized that he was just dreaming. The next thing he saw was that Elliot was standing above him, at the mummification table, cut his bloody shirt, just like he did with Anna. He also began to convince Paul that he was dead. He told Paul that he had never been to the cemetery because he had been in a car accident. When Paul objected, Sharpness appears and observes the whole process. Last, Eliud injects drugs into vegetables in a mummified cart as his new victim screams in pain. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thank you for tuning in.